Well, hello everybody, and welcome to today's presentation in the value-based pricing colony. My name is Shaun Jardine, and I think some of you, I recognise some of the names of people who are on this event. I'm the author of a book called Ditch the Billable Hour, which some of you may have read, others of you may be halfway through, and others of you may never have heard of it. What we're hoping to do over the next 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so is for me to introduce you to John Hocker from the e-learning group, who has built a digital training course, which I call the Value Voyage. And for me to explain a little bit about value-based pricing, why I think it's important, and why I think that Value Voyage can help your people get to know a little bit about value-based pricing. The book is a manual, and it's basically a user manual to say, how can we implement value-based pricing in our organization? And the important thing to understand that it is a change management book. And the principles of the book are built upon a book that I read years ago called Our Iceberg is Melting by John Cotter. And it's a book about change management, how you go about implementing change in your organization. And so John Cotter is a world authority on change management. He's forgotten more about change management than I will ever know, but he came up with an 8-step plan. And basically, I am a great believer in not reinventing wheels. And I thought what I would do is create my own 8 P-point plan based on Cotter methodology. So this is what the course follows. This is what the Value Voyage covers. And for those of you who haven't read the book, I'll just quickly counter through some of the headings for you. The first P of the 8 P-point plan is paradigm. P for paradigm. Why is it that you want to change? What is it that is driving this change in your organization? It might be AI, it might be recruitment, it might be profitability, but you've got to have a reason for wanting to do this. The second P of the 8 P-point plan is pioneers. You've got to create a group, a pilot group of enthusiastic young pioneer penguins who are prepared to roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty and to implement this stuff. And the job of the management team is to find these pioneers. And they might not be all partners. In fact, some of the partners might be people you certainly don't want in the group, but they could be enthusiastic people, influencers in their teams, who can actually help create and explain change. Cotter's book talks about no penguins. This is a penguin in your organization. I'll go, oh, no, that'll never work around here. And the important thing about no penguins is their opinions are valid, but you don't want them as part of your pioneer group. We need to bring them into the fold later on, once we can actually prove that this event and the methodology is working. The next P is plan. We've got to have a plan, and we've got to create a roadmap and create a vision for what it is you're wanting to achieve in your organization and set some objectives. And then we've got to promote and communicate this plan to your people, promote the change. Why are we doing it? Get people behind it, get people enthusiastic about this, and start sharing the success stories that you will have. And then next P is permit. We need to permit our people to remove barriers that are in their way of implementing value-based pricing. And this might be some of your existing processes. It might be some of your existing policies, but we've got to empower teams to make change. One of those changes might be we shouldn't act for certain clients. We shouldn't act for clients who are difficult to deal with. We shouldn't act for clients who are unprofitable. Now, permitting lawyers to put their hands up and say, look, I don't think we should do this, doesn't come naturally and easily to partners in law firms. The next P is prizes. What are the quick wins? How can we celebrate these quick wins? What are our policies for doing so? Have we set aside some budget? How are we going to communicate this to our people and the wider troops in your organization? Because celebrating these quick wins is important for confidence building. And then we have to, like any change management project, we've got to persevere. We've got to keep going when it gets hard. We've got to maintain the momentum. We've got to start looking at our second wave of penguins. Who is it that's going to be coming into the group? And we've got to do these challenges. And then the last P of the 8P point plan is the passion. It's the cultural change. And have we created a new culture? Have we embedded this change? And can we make this effectively business as usual in our organization? Because that is what the 8th P of the 8P point plan is all about. Now, why do I think this stuff is important? And I genuinely do. I think there are great business benefits to implementing value-based pricing. You will increase your profitability. You will have better cash flow. You will reduce your lockup. You will have improved margins. You will reduce write-offs. Anybody that tells me that hourly billing is a perfect business model, well, look at your write-offs over the last 12 months. I suspect they're between 10 and 15% of turnover. We've got to look at our client relationships. Value-based pricing, giving clients choice, giving them fixed prices, brings stronger client partnerships, better client retention. You get more referrals, clearer expectations from clients about what you're doing for them, fewer fee disputes. Look at your complaints. Look at what your COPs deal with on a day in, day out basis. Most of them, or at least half, I would guess, relate to fees and communication about fees and levels. The other important thing is it gives you a competitive advantage. If you say to your clients, we will never give you a bill that you haven't previously authorized, or we will always give you a fixed price before doing any work, that is a competitive advantage. You are seen as innovators in your field. You've got that first mover advantage in the market. And your clients will like it, and your clients will talk to other people about how you run your organization. And for your people, it has tremendous benefits. Reduced stress, better work-life balance. They're not living their lives in 6-minute units. Improved confidence. You can see this actually happening with people. I see it when I'm doing training with organizations, that people feel, do you know what? I am worth this. I can charge more. I can get the value. I can charge for the value I create. And your people will get new skills, and they will have greater autonomy in the way they deliver their work. Operations, clearer scope definition. Again, one of the big things about value-based pricing is defining what we're going to do, what we're not going to do. And the better we are at scoping, the better we can then have conversations when matters go out of scope and say that we need to charge you more because the scope has changed. We have far reduced admin time, less time chasing debts, less time worrying about going back to clients about things, and we have better risk management. And ultimately, we can then turn this into part of our cultural transformation, where we have enhanced teamwork. We have teams acting like teams. We're focusing on what the clients want. We're focusing on delivery. We've got increased transparency over what we do. And our people end up with new skill sets. They understand the business more, the commercial acumen. They become better at negotiating, and they become better at leadership development, and they have better client management skills. So this is all of the reasons why I think that value-based pricing is important. This is the reason why I started coaching and working with firms about implementing value-based pricing. This was the reason why I wrote the book. And the book, if you've got it, you will know it's over 400 pages, 100,000 words. It's even though I like to think it's written in a light-hearted style, and people like that, you're not going to get all your lawyers in an organization to read a 400-page book, but they could embark upon a training course and understand how to do digital training. And that neatly brings me into introducing you to John Hocker. And John is, I mentioned, from the e-learning group. And John is going to give us a demonstration, he says, holding it, crossing his fingers, of the technology behind the Value Voyage. So John, over to you, my friend.
Thanks, Shaun. Thanks. Hi, everybody. Thank you very much as well, Shaun, for having me on this. So just to give you a little bit of a brief background and introduction to me. So yes, I'm John Hocker. I founded the e-learning group. We're a new e-learning design company, and our kind of passion is about making learning bite-sized and blended. So what we mean by that is we focus on kind of like 15-minute bite-sized learning modules in an e-learning format. And what again by we mean by blended is we incorporate a mixture of different learning methods to kind of meet all the learning styles and needs of different people, including neurodivergent needs and everything else as part of that as well, to make sure it's a good all-round experience for anybody, and everybody can take something away from the e-learning module. I've worked in learning development for a decade. Don't look it, I know. And I've worked in the legal sector for 6 years of that as well. So I've covering all sorts within the legal sector and helping all sorts of people at different stages of the legal career as well. So I kind of understand the challenges and the focuses that are happening within the sector. It's great working with Shaun on this project. It has been great working with Shaun on this project, and we continue to work through it. So that's a bit of a brief intro on me. So what do we use? We use a platform called Moodle. You may have heard of this before. It's quite a big, world-renowned platform, used a lot in the educational sector as well, with high schools, colleges, universities, for all their students to embark on online learning and all these other bits and bobs that you can do within it. So we use it as well. It's a fantastic platform to house the e-learning format files. So I'll just quickly share the screen and get this in there and give you the full taste of how it all works and how it all looks. So when you come onto our platform, you go that through our website. So you can go through the e-learning group .co.uk website, or through the web link you can see at the top through the store link, and you can go straight onto our platform, onto the homepage. You don't have to have an account immediately. You can view all the modules and all the learning content we've got available, and then to access the course, you can create your own login, or I think through how we're going to work with Shaun I will create a login for you. So you can give me your list of users and we'll create that user account and send those logins out. So log in through our website. It takes you straight into the dashboard that you can see here as well. So it'll give you a timeline once you've gone into the platform, seen a bit more, any recently accessed courses. You can come into the homepage, and this is where you can see a full list of courses that we've got available. So you can see Shaun's here, and the full program and just the introduction and a few other topics that we've got available. And then you can come into the My Courses list, which will see all the courses that you've got assigned to yourself. So you can access the course via the dashboard or the My Courses section. When you click into it, into Shaun's here, you can see the full list of all the modules that we've got available. Now it is locked down a little bit, so that you have to complete them in an order. So you can see I've already completed the introduction here. You can see that's marked as done. That then allows me to go into the next activity to access that module. So if I give you a demo of the introduction, I'm going to come out of Moodle just for a moment to give me a bit more flexibility to show you what this module looks like. But what you would do is you would click on the link. Up here, it would open up a new window and it would take you into what this would look like here. I'm just in a preview mode, but I wanted to just go into this mode for a moment to show you that the modules are accessible across multiple devices. So we're looking in desktop view. You can look at it on a tablet or on your mobile phone, and it just fits to the purpose so that you can see the module on the go wherever you want and wherever you are as well. So whether that's in between client meetings, you've got a bit of a break in court, whatever it may be, have a quick look. And as I say, we just give you a bit of a breakdown of what the modules look like. Similar to kind of like Shaun's book, the language is in the same basis as well. It's very relaxed. It's not very formal. It's just to try and kind of have a nice tone to the module and not be, as I say, too forefront with it. So we have a nice introduction there about what this module is going to be about, what's going to be covered within it, how long it's going to be, and obviously a bit about Shaun there as well. All the modules are designed in a consistent way. So this 4 sections you can see here, the explore, practice, check your understanding and summary, is consistent throughout all of the individual modules we've created for this program. That is just because it just keeps, as I say, consistency and breaks it down into the relevant chunks that you need to. So the explore section is all about the what and the why. So why is this important? What's this all about? The practice point is the practicality of it. So how do we actually go and use this in practice now? What are the things that we can take away, the tools that we can take away to go and use this? Check your understanding. The one thing that I'm very passionate about is that we don't test and quiz people and do all these assessments. I think it puts people off. It put me off, certainly. So, but we do. It is still very important that that you've check that you understand the key points and the key messages we're trying to that are being covered throughout each of the individual modules. So there's just 3 very simple questions. They're not designed to catch you out, and you are not tested, as in you don't need to get a pass percentage to get through it. You could get them all wrong, that's absolutely fine. We give you the answers through each of these check your understandings across all of the individual modules. It will still give you a percentage at the end of how many you got right, but it doesn't matter. You'll still then be able to continue onto the summary section, which then just gives you your final key takeaway and some useful resources. You can also see these kind of dark circles here as well, greyish circles. They're progress bars as you go through it. So you can see how they will fill in as you go through the individual module itself. So if we just dive straight into it, here's what you can see. So break it down into all these individual chunks. We've got, as I say, some video here as well, which I'm just going to quickly skip through to allow some time. And then we've got some interactive blocks as well. The key thing with the interactive blocks is it's about making sure people engage with the individual pieces of learning. There's nothing, in my personal and professional view, there's nothing sometimes we're sitting there for 20 minutes and just watching a video, because your mind starts to wander, you're not interacting and engaging with it, and actually, do you actually take away the key points? Probably not. So these just allow people to stay engaged with the individual, with the pieces of learning. So we incorporate this into all the individual pieces of modules that we have throughout the programme. The course, I should say. So this is just a breakdown of what Shaun's introduced already of the 8 point plan, and just the brief introduction of what they're all about and all the individual elements to it as well. Now, what we do prevent is to stop people just scrolling right through to the very end, is you do have to interact and engage with everything as part of the module. So see, this is a 5-minute long video, so you've got to watch the full video. You've got to interact with all of these elements before this then becomes available to you as well. Okay, I'm just going to skip on for the purpose of the demo, but you can see the progress bar hasn't completely filled in because that video is still playing in the background. Again, other elements, we incorporate other elements of interactivity. So the flip cards, again, just gives that little bit of interaction that you've got to do with the module. You're not just sitting there and reading something. It allows you to engage and keep that attention throughout the duration of the module. There's text. We do incorporate some imagery throughout the modules as well. And then these are some useful links that link off to external resources for you to go and see. So this is taking you to the colony. You can see here, takes you off to the VVP colony, and then download documents as well. And now I can continue with the rest of the module. So this is the check your understanding piece. You can see here just a bit of blurb at the beginning that we don't like to test people, so don't feel like you've got to get 100% right and you've got to rush right through it. It's nothing about that at all. It's just, have you understood what we're trying to get the message across? You can see 3 very simple questions. I'm just going to get one incorrect. So it's on a penguin. It's a dinosaur if you saw it quickly before, and we give you the answer. So it's not quite right. Dinosaur is the one we used to illustrate shingles logic. Skip through these. So there we go. There's one right. Again, reaffirming that we've got that question correct. And see which one this is. This one's correct as well. So there we go. We've got 2 out of 3. So you still get your percentage at the end, which is absolutely fine. I can take it again if I want. If you're a perfectionist and you want to get your 100%, that's fine. But you don't have to. You can just click continue. That'll take you straight through to the summary. Throughout all the modules again, it's all about what is useful, going to help you outside of the individual course as well, not a digital course as well. There's the learning of the modules themselves don't give you everything. They'll give you a good amount of knowledge and foundations to go off and build everything with the book. And obviously all these other useful resources that we've got. So you'll see through all the modules, there's going to be plenty of resources available for you to go off and read through, download. There's books to recommend if you want to go and purchase any books, or see if there's any free downloadable books on Audible or anything like that as well. And there's always a key takeaway. There's always something that you need to take it. What's the one message that we want to get you from these modules? And this is how we build it into it here. So key takeaway, just normally a short paragraph. Sometimes it may be a few points, because if it's a slightly longer module, you notice with this module we talked about, it's like 15 minutes long. The maximum we do touch on is 30 minutes, but we don't really exceed 30 minutes in any of the modules. So it's what's the key points, and then obviously for this introduction, we've done an introduction to Shaun, but afterwards it would normally be finished. And then that's finished. You would then get an exit now button up in the top right-hand corner, which will then take you back through to Moodle, which you'll then see will then mark you as done, and then you can move on to the next module. The benefit with all of these is you don't have to do it all in one. What I mean by that is through the actual individual learning piece, you can, where the progress bars are going through, you can jump in, jump out whenever you want. It saves your progress, so you don't have to worry about restarting anything again on that front. That's kind of it as an introduction for the module there. Shaun, is there anything else in particular you want me to touch on, or is that tick the box so far?
No, I think that's great, John. Thank you very much for that. You, ladies and gentlemen, you will notice that there are 17 modules in this course, okay, and some are longer than others. Some are broken down into 2 modules as one of the 8 Ps of the 8P point plan. If any of you have got any questions, now's the opportunity for you to take yourself off mute and reveal yourself on camera, and John and I will try and happily answer as many questions as you've got. He says.
What in the chat?
I was going to say one of the questions. I did have a question actually. It was from somebody that couldn't attend, but they have asked me to confirm what are the charges for this. Now, the answer is it does depend. It depends on the number of lawyers in your organisation and how many lawyers you want to put through this at any one time. But it actually starts from £1,250 for a year. There's a £550 setup fee to get you all set up on the thing, and thereafter that it's from as little as £1,250. What I wanted this to be was affordable for smaller firms as well as bigger firms that have got bigger budgets, and it's still affordable for them. But the idea is, I am very passionate about this subject. Anybody who's heard me talk about this will know that, but I do want to try and make lawyers' lives a bit better. I firmly believe this is a better way of doing legal services, delivering legal services. And so that's why I'm very keen that we make this readily available as wide as we possibly can. And interesting enough, I know that people that have inquired about this from all over the world. So it's very interesting. I'm actually in Poland later this week to talk about value-based pricing. People are keen to find out how we can do this.
Can we do reporting? So if you've got a group of individuals, can you see how they've progressed through the modules? The answer to that would be yes. There is some development work happening in the background on my Moodle site at the moment to kind of get things set up more efficiently. But for now, anybody who has an account who's kind of classed as a group leader, let's say, a group admin, for your organisation can request a report, and we can send a completion activity report for all the people that are within your organisation that have an account and have got access to this module as well. So just thought I'd throw that one in there as well.
John, I know one of the questions that arose pre this webinar was for those firms that have got their own learning and development platforms, can these modules be exported onto their platforms?
Great question. It depends on the system that you've got. So you need to have a functioning learning management system. So Moodle is an LMS, a learning management system platform, and it needs to have SCORM file compatibility. So this is for the probably more for the L&D people in here. Is SCORM, the e-learning files come in a SCORM format, and that is a file type, like a zip file to a degree. And that has to be compatible only on learning management systems or any system that is SCORM compatible. So if you've got that set up, absolutely, those files can be sent over and they can manually be uploaded to your own learning management system.
Last chance, folk, if you've got any questions. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask us outside of the webinar, feel free to ping them over to me, and I'll happily take follow these points up with you. But if people haven't got any questions, can I just say thank you very much for making your time, giving up your time to come along to the demo today. I hope that this is of interest. I hope that your lawyers at some time in the future decide to embark upon value-based pricing. The businesses that you operate deserve it, and it makes everybody's life a lot easier. So I will wind things up there. Thank you very much for coming. And we look forward to seeing you sometime in the value-based pricing colony in the future. Goodbye, everybody.